Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 14 of the Go-To Podcast with me, your host, Anthony DiDomenico, coming to you each week. I apologize about the day delay. That rhymes. But last night I got home a little too late and needed some sleep. So I'm recording this now on a Monday. We're going to release it on a Tuesday at 5:30 a.m. Just had to wait another day for more Michigas, but we're coming at you with a brand new show, and very excited to talk about some of the stuff we have on tap today. It was a great week. Not gonna lie, I spent a lot of time outside, like I've been doing, enjoying the outdoors. Not like camping or anything, but just sitting outside enjoying it, and it's I never, like I said, it was the last week. I said I want to keep doing things that I enjoy, keep doing things that make me happy. And sitting outside watching Yankee games with my dad, and my brother comes out sometimes, and the kids, making campfires, s'mores. That makes me happy. So we're gonna keep doing those things. And I actually got for the kids. I bought s'mores, like metal s'mores sticks that actually extend and have the two prongs, so you could definitely get, you put hot dogs on there if you want to also. So we're going to have some fun this summer. I've been looking up some different s'mores recipes, and we're going to have a good time. Good time. I was actually sitting outside my dad tonight, and I said to him again, I can't believe the Knicks are NBA champions. This happens to me like every day. I know I said I wouldn't really talk about it after they won, but, it still boggles my mind that this team won the NBA championship and my Knicks are NBA champions. And, they're making moves now to bring some players back. Landry Shamet's going to be back, which is a great hand off the bench. And we'll see if Mitchell Robinson, if they can make some room and they have enough money for him. But I think Mitch is going to be the casualty of war as far as the salary cap goes this offseason. So I don't know. But I'm not going to get too much into that. My Yankees are making me very angry. They've lost. They got swept in Boston, which any other team. And they got like 3 hits the whole series. And tonight they were just the absolute pits. I actually left my dad's house early. We were like in the 6th or 7th inning, and he's like, I gotta go to bed. I can't watch this anymore. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. I gotta go home anyway and do the podcast. And I came home with the air conditioner on for like an hour just to get the room a little cooler, but it's still a little warm. That's the thing of podcasting in my room in the summer. It gets hot. The air conditioner makes a lot of noise, and I don't want you to hear that. I mean, I think that's just for the listening pleasure, not to hear my air conditioner blasting. It's annoying. It's soothing when you're sleeping, but it's annoying when you're trying to listen to my nonsense. Over the weekend, and I'm, as big of a wrestling fan as I am, I haven't been watching as much. And I think it's just because I've been busy with the Knicks. I was busy with the Knicks all month and, the Yankees now and stuff. And just every time I watch the product, I get angry. And I forgot they were in Saudi Arabia Saturday. I knew it was Night of Champions. And I said to myself, it's raining out. I'll go down to the cigar lounge. I'll bring my iPad. I'll have a nice cigar and I'll watch Night of Champions. Got a little triple threat. They had a triple threat for the main event. Cody Rhodes, Gunther versus Sami Zayn. I said it should be a nice night. It wasn't. Sami Zayn is the WWE champion, which is complete bullshit. And I'm seeing, and what annoys me is that I sound like, and I agree with my friend Ryan Marr on this, and we never really agree too much on wrestling, but this is we're actually in a lot of agreements on. And if you're a wrestling fan and you like Sami Zayn, yeah, it's great. He's been with the WWE for over 10 years. He's the underdog, great, awesome. But that doesn't mean you deserve to be champion. He's not a WWE champion. When I think of WWE champions, I think of Hulk Hogan, um, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker. These guys, Roman Reigns, the current, Cody Rhodes. These you could, if he built himself up, but he didn't. And I feel it's just something they're doing. Here it's here's a lifetime achievement award, and Brock will probably take it off him at Saturday night's main event at Madison Square Garden, and Obafemi will beat Brock at SummerSlam. I mean, there it is. Lazy booking, but I'm not going to get too much into professional wrestling because that's not. No one wants to hear that. There's 3 people who want to hear that. Larry, if you're listening, that was your segment. You probably got into that, and you're probably talking to your radio as you're listening to this. And we'll do a wrestling podcast another time. Or if anybody wants to have me on their wrestling podcast, I'll talk about it. But that's enough for the wrestling. I had to mention it. How annoyed I was at that. But I know last week I promised you I would start a show and we'd have a new show to talk about, and I've made myself a liar. I'm sorry. I apologize. I started rewatching The Sopranos again because I've been seeing so many clips on TikTok and social media that I just was like, I have to rewatch the series, and I'm on to season 2 already. I'll fly through this. The Sopranos will fly. Plus, I wanted to rewatch it before me and Sam do our Sopranos episode, our go-to podcast Sopranos episode, which might be like 8 hours long because we're getting into everything. We're getting into the show. We're getting into the things that only we notice. We're getting into what is going on in the Sopranos world now. All these years later, who's the boss and fan theories. So it's going to be a long one, but so I wanted to refresh myself, so to speak, and watch that show again. And it's awesome. It really is. I mean, how could you not want to watch The Sopranos? Such an amazing show. Still holds up. I know what's coming, and I'm into it. That's the mark. That's the mark of a fantastic show, is when you've seen it 800 million times, and you're still like on the edge of your seat at certain things. So I apologize for not having a brand new television show to watch, but Sopranos is my go-to right now. And I'm like trying now to find like little things that I never noticed, and I'm digging deeper into each character. It's really a sickness. It is a sickness, but I'm just diving deeper and deeper and finding out even more about these characters and creating more theories in my head. And creating scenarios of what's going on now with the DeMeo slash Sopranos crime family in current day. And when me and Sam do the podcast, we will definitely check that out. And speaking of Sam, I know I mentioned him last week. I want to mention him this week too, because if you haven't seen Sam's latest YouTube video, go watch it. Go watch it, please. He stealth camps at a train station in Canada, but it's a great episode. He digs down deep into the basement, and he really on a human level. I don't want to give it too much away. It's the Northwest Wind. Go check it out. His latest episode. He releases them on Thursday. So every Thursday you get a new video, but his last one, the stealth camp at the train station, is definitely worth the watch. And Sam, I commend you and I'm proud of you, brother, for doing that episode and talking about what you talked about. It's not easy being open and honest, especially in front of a microphone, in front of a camera, in front of strangers on the internet. It's to be open yourself up like that. It's definitely a tough thing to do. So, with that being said, let's move on to something I guess new. I haven't seen this movie yet, But this is one I definitely want to watch. Again, it's new, but it's old. The new Jackass is out, and you know, I think this is the last one. Thank God, everybody got it out okay. Um, Except, I mean, Ryan. Well, Ryan Dunn died in a car accident. R.I.P. Um, but this show when it first came out was revolutionary. I mean, I watched every episode when it first came out. That was there for the first movie, and everyone since. One of my all-time favorite shows, and I love these movies. It's still like at 47, almost 47 years old, can make me crack up and laugh like I'm 13 again. And my nephews are getting into it, and they asked me if I would take them, and I want to, but I don't think they're allowed to go. So, but if they are, I will definitely think about taking them. Maybe I'll sneak them. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, as they say. But I don't want to step on toes. And parents make rules and regulations for a reason. They were like, "Yeah, we'll do that." I'm like, "You can't come home and do the stuff. Then you can watch it, but that's another reason too. I don't want them coming home and doing this stuff on each other. But I definitely want to see that movie. I saw a lot of stuff from the premiere. It was great seeing Bam's parents on the red carpet, Phil and April. I mean, some of my favorite moments in Jackass was when Bam would just run into the room and start punching his dad and throwing stuff at him and doing things like that. I just found that funny. It was like the stupidest thing. Those things that made me like, I like the stunts and I like all those other things, but it's just like the stupid things where you grab a camera, you run into a room, and you just start messing with people. To me, that's awesome. I mean, I have clips of my mom. I used to follow my mom around with a microphone and a recorder when I used to have. We did the Hammerheads radio show. I used to get clips from that. And as always, my mother was a performer, and she didn't disappoint. She gave hilarious clips that I still listen to today and that make me laugh, and I can still hear her voice, and like we're joking around all these years later that she's gone. So that's what I resonate with the Jackass stuff. It's the stunts are awesome, and the things they do. It's like, I would never think about doing it. All the self mutilation, but to me, I think simple is can be funny. Bam just kicking open his dad's door was dad's getting dressed and running in and just slapping him and hitting him and everything, and his dad trying to put his shirt and pants on. I mean, that's to me that's funny. I got mentality of a 13-year-old. I'm sorry, but that's funny to me. I hope in this movie there's some of that. I didn't see it yet. My friend Nick saw it, and he wrote something really nice about it. So I definitely got. He does that with everything. He's always writing soliloquies. Nick's funny like that. Tributes and soliloquies, but yeah, I definitely got to check that out. And speaking of Nick, I saw a picture. He was at Smodcastle this weekend in Jersey. He ran into William Forsythe. I don't know if anybody knows who William Forsythe is. He's an amazing character actor. Um, he's been in so many movies. I'm gonna pull it up right now. He's one of my favorite character actors. I mean, just Raising Arizona is one of them. Let's see. He's 71 years old. Wow, everybody's getting old. Let's pull up his Wikipedia page. He's my dad's age. He was actually born June 7th, 1955. Wow, so he's my dad's age. That's crazy to think about because you watch these guys in movies, and they're they're your parents' age. Um, he was in Raising Arizona. That's where I first saw him. Let's see the movies that he's been in that people might know about. So Raising Arizona with Nicolas Cage. Um, he was in Sons, Dick Tracy, Out for Justice, American Me, Something else that people might know. The Rock, Gotti, which we'll get back to Gotti. Let's see. Let's just see the movies that you guys might see. City by the Sea, which is a good movie. The Devil's Rejects. He was in 88 Minutes. I thought it was The Ring. It's actually The Rig. He was in Boardwalk Empire. He's had a lot of TV. He was actually in the Untouchables TV series, where he played Al Capone. But he is absolutely one of the best character actors out there. Uh, One of my favorites, and I'm so jealous that Nick got to meet him and get a picture with him and everything. But like I said, he was in the movie Gotti, which is one of the, if you like mob movies, mob history, you have to see HBO's Gotti. It premiered August 17th, 1996. Armand Asante is John Gotti. William Forsythe plays Sammy the Bull Gravano. The cast is absolutely fantastic. Um, Anthony Quinn plays Neil Delacroce. I mean, the cast here. You listen to this cast. You have Armand Asante, William Forsythe, Anthony Quinn, Vincent Pastore, who played Big Pussy on The Sopranos. You have Dominic Chianese, who is Uncle June on The Sopranos. You have Tony Sirico, who was Paulie Walnuts on The Sopranos. Um, you also have the guy who played Gene Gotti was Max Medina in The Gilmore Girls. So we're covering all my favorite shows. This movie is absolutely fantastic. I watched it this week. It's my go-to movie of the week. Is HBO's Gotti. And I think originally, I don't think HBO made the movie. I think they bought the rights to the movie. I think originally it was supposed to be like a major motion picture, but either way, I mean, any HBO movie, the cast is always fantastic. And I think HBO just does this in general. HBO casts series and movies to perfection. I mean, think of any HBO show. If it's anywhere from The Sopranos, Sex and the City, Entourage, 6 Feet Under, all the way back to First and 10. Can you picture anybody else playing the roles in these shows? These classic roles. Can you imagine anybody else as Carrie Bradshaw? Think about it. Or as Tony Soprano, Vincent Chase. You know, all these classic characters that you've come to know and love. Johnny Drama. Can anybody else play drama? No. Kevin Dillon nailed that part. I can't picture anybody else in that role. HBO is essential in doing that. I mean, they that's probably not the right word for it, but they are one of the best casting agents out there, or agencies, or whatever they do, or whatever the word is. Their casting department is phenomenal. It's awesome. They nail every single character. And going back and watching, you can actually watch some of the casting videos for Tony Soprano, and you actually see a lot of the series regulars, that audition for Tony. It's not the same role. It wouldn't have been the same role. They picked the right players for the right parts. And when you watch this John Gotti movie, it's spot on. Armand Asante is John Gotti. Perfection. It's a lot. I mean, it puts the John Travolta movie to shame. One, this is actually shot in New York, and the people look like the actual people that they're playing, which is, to me, listen, I mean, I know when you're doing a biopic, you want to go for, you need someone who can act. You want acting's the first thing, but you also, I mean, you need the characters to resemble the real people that they're portraying. I'm not saying that to be spitting images or they have to be, identical, but you have to feel like that's who you're watching. And I think that's why with a lot of biopics, they go with unnames, not big names. but actors that newer actors are just getting their start because you could separate it more. Not that like certain movies, like you watch, I mean, Johnny Depp's a chameleon, so anything he does, you watch Donnie Brasco, you believe he's Joe Pistone. Um, but you watch this movie and you look up the real people being portrayed in the movie, and spot on. And I don't know if it was HBO or if it was something else, but it was definitely a spot on movie. And yeah, I'm looking at it here. I'm trying to look at some of the things here. Yeah, it says here the film details Gotti's rise within the Gambino crime family as an unofficial soldier sent to prison following the murder of James McBratney in 1973, then being promoted to captain and finally becoming boss of the family by arranging the hit on Big Paul Castellano in 1985. Following the murder of Castellano, the film concentrates on the legal trials of Gotti, one for assault and two for racketeering under the RICO statutes. So yeah, it goes by the trials and everything, goes to his imprisonment and everything. So it's pretty much very accurate to the history of what really happened. So if you haven't seen that movie, please go watch Gotti. It's my go-to movie of the week. I'm so jealous that Nick actually got to meet William Forsythe, and I haven't talked to him about it yet. I will probably tomorrow, now that I'm talking about it here. And if he hears it beforehand, I'm sure he'll text me about it. But awesome. Last week was the 29th anniversary of my high school graduation. Next year, I'll be out of high school 30 years. It's 29 years this year that I'm out of high school, which is insane. I know I'm turning 47 in August. I know I'm old, but to think how fast 29 years has just gone by, it's crazy. Um, and I loved high school. I know people hated, some people hated high school. I loved high school. High school was one of the best times of my life. Um, I look back on it with just fond memories. I made, some of my best friends to this day. Nick, I met in high school. My friend Jason, I met in high school. Even my friends Chris and Joey, who they didn't go to the same high school, but I met them through Nick because Chris worked with Nick at King Cullen. It's just people I'm still friends with today, almost 30 years later. It's insane to think about how crazy fast that went by. You blink and it goes by. It's hard to explain. It's hard to just wrap my head around it. But yeah, I graduated high school June of 1997 from Mepham High School in Belmore, New York. And yeah, it was a blast. And I remember that day, it was the hottest day of the year. It was so hot. And I wanted to wear a t shirt and shorts under my cap and gown. And my mother made me wear uh, khakis, a shirt, and tie. She was going to look nice for pictures. Like pictures, I have the cap and gown on. I came home from that graduation it was 100 degrees, probably 110 on the field. I was drenched. Everything was just soaking wet. It was disgusting. But I remember I had a nice graduation party afterwards. My parents threw me, and then you know you start life after that. I started college, which didn't go great off the bat, and you kind of like you go down memory lane and you see where your life took you, and maybe certain avenues you should have made different turns and everything. But listen, I believe everything happens for a reason, and I there's not much I would change because I believe that then changes other things in your life. Like you make one decision, it leads to something else, and so on, like a butterfly effect. But yeah, 29 years out of high school. Woo! And it was great. That senior year was awesome. The Yankees won the World Series that year for the first time that I've seen. It was, the start of a dynasty. The Knicks were good that year, but they didn't win anything. They had that fight with the Miami Heat. And I just remember, like, getting my license that year. Took a couple of times, but I finally got my license. You know how many times I failed my road test? I'll tell you, I failed my road test 4 times before I passed. I passed on the 4th time. No, 3 times. I passed on the 4th time. I failed 3 times before I got my license. And I'll tell you what happened. So it's not like I was a bad driver. I guess I was a bad driver, but it was just different instances. So the first time I took the road test, I'm driving, everything's going great. It's like perfect. And this is just me getting in my head. Here's just a history of 29 years ago, Anthony's in his head, and 29 years later, he's still there. Uh, we're coming back from the test. We're driving back to let the next person take their test. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I passed. Oh my God, I passed. I can't believe it. I'm going to be a licensed driver. And all of a sudden, the car jerks. I almost went through a stop sign on the way back. The guy had to take the clipboard out again to write fail on it because I had already passed the test. The second time I took the test, I was making the left-hand turn. The guy says I wasn't cautious enough. So on the third time, when we came up to the same turn, I was more cautious. And I failed for that. They told me I was overcautious. Now I'm just in my head all over the place. I don't know what to do on these tests. So I took the test the 4th time. My cousin Maria actually let me take it in her car. I took it, and she had a Mitsubishi Eclipse. So I squeezed my fat ass into that car. It was easy to parallel park, easy to drive. And when I got back, the guy goes, "Listen," he goes, "Is this your first time taking the test?" I go, "No." And I told him my history, and he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Some parts I could see why you were overcautious, and some parts, you just seem a little nervous." He goes, "I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to pass you on this." And I passed. So finally, from August, it took me to October of 96 to get my license. And I had my license. I had my first car, which was a 1986 Mercury Cougar. It was white with a blue rag top. The thing was awesome. And I got into a few accidents and totaled that thing. And yeah, so my teens and my early 20s was not the best with driving. I'm, thank God, knock on wood, a much better driver now, as I was for a long time, a 5-star Uber driver, 5-star rated Uber driver. Um, Somebody gave me a bad review, so it's like 4.98. But I don't drive Uber anymore. So, um, but yeah, no, it was 29 years ago. I've been driving for almost 30 years. It's crazy. I'm an old man. I'm an old man. So this weekend coming up is I have a short week at work. I took off. We're off for the 4th on Friday. I took off Thursday, so I have a nice 4-day weekend. Um, I'm looking forward to the 4th of July. It's a big one. It's America's 250th birthday. I am a patriot, a diehard patriot. I love this country. I love America. And I'm looking forward to celebrating his 250th birthday. We'll talk about that next week, about the 4th of July and everything that happened and what happened, where I was, what I was doing. And we'll get into more about America's maybe 250th birthday. I don't want to do like the politics stuff. I'm just, like I said, I'm proud to be an American, proud to live in this country, this free country of ours. And you think about it, 250 years, well, it's still a baby. And, and as far as the world, like you think about how long countries in Europe have been around. And we're still going through some growing pains. And through growing pains comes growth. So if we all could be, just kind to each other. I mean, the 4th of July is not about getting your politics out there. It's not about, proving somebody wrong. It's about we're gonna celebrate. It's a celebration. So no matter what side of the aisle you're on, no matter what, where you vote, where you cast your vote, we're all Americans. End of the day. And that needs to start coming more together. So I hopefully in the upcoming future that happens. I'm not going to get into it more than that because again, it's not. I don't want to get into politics. I just wish that everything wasn't a fight. You can sit and have a conversation with somebody, and you tell me your views. I'll tell you mine. Either we agree or we disagree. At the end of the day, we shake hands. You know, have a cup of coffee, get something to eat. Friends. That's how it should be. Um, I think that's how the founding fathers wanted it. Yeah, I don't think they would like all this infighting, but again, let's not get into that. Let's not get into that, Michigas. I want everybody to have a happy, healthy, and safe 4th of July. Be safe out there. Don't do anything dumb. And as always, the podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. It's also available on YouTube over at the Go To Pod YouTube channel. Subscribe on all of these platforms. Please 5-star rate and review. I want to hear what you think about the podcast. Give it to me. Let me have it. I have a link in the description. Buy me a coffee. All the money goes back in the podcast, keeping the lights on, so to speak. Everybody who's donated, thank you so much. I say it each week, but it really means the world that you guys believe in me and believe in what I'm doing. So have an awesome week. Have a happy, safe, healthy 4th of July, and I'll talk to you later.